Hey guys, welcome back to the Pine Box Perspective. Today we're going to be talking about the Nanostriker XL from Exotac. Guys, this thing is really cool. This is a perfect little EDC sized fire striker. Just as a comparison, I've got their standard. This is the fire rod. They also make the fire rod XL, which is I think a pretty big 1/2 inch thick. This is the 5/16, the standard size. Now this one obviously is made for using the back of your knife, the spine of your knife on. You get good long strokes on this one. And guys, I'm going to tell you there's a learning curve with using the smaller one like this, just because of, you know, how you feel like you're tinkering with something in your hands. But once you get used to it, it works really, really well, guys. I'm a big fan of this thing. The biggest thing is you can just throw it in your pocket and, you know, you're good to go. The other one's a little bit big to be thrown in your pocket. You know, it's kind of made to go on the sheath of a knife or something like that if you want to do that. But let's get into this here. So I put this little lanyard on here because this is the striker portion right here, and this little sailor's knot is just perfect for like a little 2-finger grip for what I'm striking with this thing. Now this thing is completely self-contained. It is made of 6061 aluminum and it's been anodized. Each little threaded part here has an O-ring in it, as you can see there, and this part here as well. And this is your striker, and you can see it's sort of shaped like an hourglass there. Kind of. This thing is really super sharp, guys. Now you'll take this side and screw it on here for a full-size handle. Now guys, any of you that are not used to using something like this, who say you always use matches or a lighter or whatever, when you get one of these, practice with it. Now a lot of guys on YouTube say that 9 times out of 10 they go to start a fire, they'll grab a big lighter. Okay, I get that. It's easier, it's convenient. Typically, when I start a fire, which is usually about once a week on the weekends, we'll get out here and do some stuff, cook over the fire, things like that, or even just burning some cardboard. I like to start my fires with these just to kind of keep my practice up, okay? Because as you can see here, there's little divots in it. If you get these little speed bumps in there, that means you're not doing it right, okay? I had to learn on a bigger one, obviously, and it seems like something that's pretty simple, but if you don't get your angle just right when you're striking this thing, it's just going to chew the material off and it's just not going to throw any sparks at all. So one thing to keep in mind, like I said, if you're not used to it, or if you've got one and you haven't used it in a while, guys, get out there and use it, because you really have to practice with this stuff, especially in a survival situation. If you find yourself needing this, you want to know how to use it then. You don't want to have to sit there and figure it out, okay? Now, it comes with it's like a black coated finish on this. You'll want to take your striker, just kind of scrape some of that back so you can get a good you know, surface area there on your fire steel. Okay, so like I said, these guys are they're made really well. They're made in Georgia. Okay, so I think it's pretty important to buy from an American company, American manufactured product. So this can go in a pouch. I typically carry my stuff in one of these smaller, like Maxpedition. You know, this is the micro. The mini's a little bit bigger, holds a little bit more. But I keep this and some tinder around. Now, this one here does have a capsule in the back that will fit one of the tinder tabs from Exotac. And I think that's a pretty good option if you know, I mean, it's only one, but you could put some somewhere else too, you know. And also, this one comes with a lanyard that has some fire starting tinder made into the inside of it. I believe this one does too, but I've taken it off. So anyway, I'm going to throw this thing on the ground and get some material set up and kind of show you how good it actually works. And guys, these things are threaded as well, so you can get refills for this. When you order the refills, I think the refill for this one's around $8-9, you know, plus taxes, as retailed on Exotac's website. So if you wear this thing down, or, you know, it's not really going to get damaged in any way, but you can replace it. And they also send you 2 O-rings. So each one of these needs, you know, the O-ring here and on the other side too with this. So that's a pretty good deal. And if you think about it, like as far as longevity goes, matches can become wet and compromised, so can lighters. That's why I think this is just an all-around better option. It really is. Now, of course, if, like I said, you're in a survival situation and you get hypothermic or injured or something, this might be a little bit harder, a little more tedious to do. So yeah, it'd be great to, you know, grab some kind of fire starter with an accelerant, like we're going to use here in a little bit, and just strike a lighter on it. Exotac also makes little strikers too, with flints and things like that. But if you can, you know, these are just a good thing to have. Okay, I know lighters are cheap, and this is around $33, give or take, you know, plus taxes. I know it's kind of expensive, but if you think about it, buy a couple of these replacements, guys, and you've got fire for life, you know. So it's just a really good investment, in my opinion. Okay, all right, so let's drop down here and start some fires. All right, guys, so right here I've included a handful of my favorite fire starting material. So this is Vaseline and cotton balls, and I like to go ahead and kind of tear this up and get a little more surface area, which is an important thing to do when you're starting a fire, so it doesn't choke the flame out. You know, finely ground dust and things like that, just, I mean, you might can get a little ember going, but you know, we want this thing to spread out and catch the sparks. Okay, and here we've got one of the tinder tabs from Exotac, and guys, these work pretty good. So I like to flare the ends of these out too, or tear it however you really want to. And it's also easier to have a bigger target when you're doing something like this. Okay, that one's really stuck together there. Okay, we'll go with that for now. And here I've got some fat wood that I've carved down off of this stick. You can see, you know, how saturated that is with you know, the sap that's been in the ground forever. Kind of has a greasy feel to it, not so much sticky like typical sap, you know, on a tree. You can cut these down into small sticks like this. I keep something like this with me. I sanded it down, made it kind of smooth so it doesn't catch on the fabric if I had it in my pants or you know, in one of my pouches or whatever. Not that big of a deal. You could just bust this down into sticks, you know. But anyway, that's kind of how I chose to do that for this. Now here we've got your Germ-X hand sanitizer. Okay, just slap full of alcohol, so we're just going to put a glob of that right there. Let that hang out for a minute. So, all right, now like I said, you want to get your angle just right, or it's not going to throw. So now typically when I use my larger one, what I'll do is I'll have my material here by my foot, and I'll kind of hold like this and pull away. And what you want to do is you want to pull your striker away. So but for right now, with this thing being so small and what I'm on here, I'm just going to have to bury my knuckle right here. So let's see if we can get this thing to light. There we go. So 2 on that. Vaseline and cotton balls, guys, that works really well. Okay, let's try the Exotac fire tab. There you go, 1 strike. As these things work really, really well. They really do. And all this material here will burn for a good while. So if you're gathering twigs and things, you know, little small things to start your fires with, such, you know, size like that, maybe not as wet as this, you've got a lot longer than you would if you were using matches. And obviously you wouldn't want to hold a lighter under some twigs. I never get that to work. So now let's try the fat wood, which, guys, this right here is my favorite because it's a natural accelerant. You find it all over the place. My first video on YouTube was on finding this. Probably wasn't the best quality video, but I really like this stuff. And it's important to get your shavings as thin as you can. I'll get it here in a sec. Well, oh, come on. There it goes. I just wasn't hitting it, but now you see how that burns, guys? You've already got wood burning, which is what I like about this. Kind of like a match. When you light a match, you've already got a burning stick, but I mean, I can hear that rolling. You see the smoke clouding up on the inside of it? I mean, this stuff burns really well. And also, if you did have a lighter in some of these, you can light this like a candle. and it'll just burn like a little torch, you know. So you could have a big chunk of this, light it like a starter log for your fireplace, and just lay some material on top of it. So like I said, I'm really partial to the fat wood. It's free if you want to get out there and do a little work. So all right, let's move this over here. And for the Germ-X hand sanitizer. Now guys, this stuff here is a whole different animal, because, okay, I see it's lit, I barely see a flame, but I could feel the heat off of it, but you can't see it burn, you know, because of the alcohol in it. But I was doing this yesterday and I singed the hair off my fingers, didn't realize it was lit. That is really, really hot, guys. That is super hot. That's basically like household napalm, I guess. But that's 4 really good fire starting options. Things that are all over the place. Everybody's got cotton balls and Vaseline. You can buy the tinder tabs. They're not expensive at all. You know, the fat wood is out in the woods, and everybody's got the Germ-X. You can see this stuff bubbling now. And I can hear, you know, the heat and the flames. I just can't see them at all. So I would not want to stick my finger in that, because I don't know what would happen. Alright guys, so we just started 4 really easy fires. I mean, it took really not much effort at all. Typically I do get the fat wood burning a little bit quicker, but I guess I didn't make my strikes as placed as well as I should have. Either that or I cut the stuff a little bit too thick, you know. But it worked. Typically you want to be able to start a fire pretty quick. They say like 3 to 5 strikes. You should have it, you know, if you're in good practice with it. So now as a size reference, I just want to show you, you know, here's my Benchmade up to this. So guys, this is tiny. Just throwing something like this in your pocket, you've got fire starting capability that could potentially be life-saving. You could treat some water, you could cook some food. This is a really, really important thing to have, and like I said, it's just going to last you forever and ever, guys. So for 30 bucks, I think it's one heck of an investment. I really do. So anyway, guys, that's all I have for that. I appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you next time. Pine Box Perspective. See ya.